Hey, we're back.
All right, here we are, episode 3 of
Carpool Conversations, people.
Carpool Conversations.
Hey, who's that over there? Should we ask? Is that Heather?
Is that
We should totally ask her to come.
Heather Steeman?
Heather Steven.
Heather!
Yes, come here.
Come on, come take a drive with us.
Will you come drive with us? We want to.
Sure.
You guys are in for a treat.
Oh,
going?
guys, Heather Steeman right
my
here
word.
in the van, people.
Excuse me,
Do
I gotta
you
buckle
know?
up real quick.
Oh, thank you.
Safety first.
Yes,
Yeah, safety first.
That's our mantra.
It is.
That's
safety
our mantra.
First.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hey.
hi, welcome to the van.
Good to see you people. I love you. Two people I love in one sitting.
We're really excited about having you here.
Thanks.
Hey, do you guys know who Heather is? All right, we got to get to know Heather.
I do.
Before we go somewhere, we're gonna drive in just a minute. But before we do,
Uh-oh.
who are you?
Who am I?
Heather, who are you?
Man, I could give you this really profound. I am a child of God, beloved, redeemed.
Don't Jesus
But-
juke
yeah.
us. Like, who
I'm
are
gonna get
you?
real here.
But you know what? In all seriousness, Heather loves Jesus.
It's true.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is my first identity.
She
Hey,
does.
Listen,
She's the
if
real deal.
everyone watching this video would just pray right now
Yeah.
that God would move Heather's heart and her husband's to come serve with Alive Student Ministry.
Oh yeah.
If I could get Heather to serve on our team, I would just retire. I'd be-
Seriously.
Stop.
Be done.
I
I'd be
don't know.
done.
I'm so insecure about those young
No,
people.
she has more wisdom than you can ever imagine. I want to be her.
It's
when
true.
I grow up.
Okay, who are you?
Okay, yeah.
Who am I?
Right, I know. How tall are you?
Oh. Well,
How much do you...
I was 5'9" till I started shrinking with gravity, but I'm embracing the 8.5.
I want to be
That's
5'9".
awesome.
There you go.
I want to be 5'9". Okay,
In
here's
my
what I
day.
got to know. This is really important.
Okay.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Come on, this is important.
wish I could
A lot
say-
rides on this, Heather.
I like Iron Man.
Iron
Yeah.
Man. Iron Man. Why?
I just like, well, I just like his humor and his wit.
And he's made of iron.
And he throws on the iron, and then things are happening. He's like, oh, crap. Okay, well, I'll fix that.
There you go.
Mine
Yeah.
are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, my kids love the turtles.
Okay.
Are they
You're right their
superheroes?
age, so that's
Yeah,
why.
they're superheroes.
Okay.
They're turtles in a half shell.
Turtles in a half
See,
shell.
I was always Wonder
Teenage
Woman
Mutant
and
Ninja
Aquaman.
Can you name the 4?
No.
Raphael,
You good?
Oh, Leonardo.
Leonardo. Oh, man, I feel bad for the
Michelangelo.
two. Michelangelo.
And
I don't know.
Donatello.
Donatello. Yeah, I should
there
know
you
these
go.
things. My kids will be disappointed that I don't remember.
How long have you been going to North Hills?
Oh, I've been here since 2006.
Wow,
So
so you're,
long
I'm
time.
starting to feel like one of those people
You're
who are
old
the
school.
old established people. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like
okay.
it.
Cool.
Okay, so what?
Hold on, I have a question.
Okay, fine.
I have a
go.
question. Okay. You do real estate,
I do.
which is some of the
I
reason
love
why
it.
we have you in the car today.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing real estate and you could choose like a dream job that you didn't ever think is attainable, like mine is to be the chaplain for the Atlanta Braves.
Wow.
Like if you could have like one dream job, what would it be?
You've never asked me that question.
Oh, well, ask her and then
You're
we'll
living
ask
the
me.
dream
What-
as Andy Dyer's wife, as a
I would
stay-at-home
like to know
mom.
that about you. What would be your dream job?
I would be a star in an action movie. I want to be, yeah.
Really?
You're a star in Carpool Conversations.
I am, but I am a star here.
You're living your dream.
I'm living it.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, I want to be in an action movie really badly. Like, I want to be the one that's doing the parkour and jumping over stuff and jumping from roof to roof and kicking. Am I allowed to say crap?
I said crap, so I think
Kicking the crap out of the bad
I'll
guys.
censor that.
we need, yeah, pull it, kicking the,
Yeah.
but then it might be worse than,
I know.
so it could be bad.
They'll think it's even worse.
And stuff, yeah.
Okay, ask Heather now.
Heather, what would your dream job be?
Really, my dream job would be, I know you're going to think this sounds really corny, but it would be somehow every weekend, if somebody scheduled it, I would show up to just go out and share the gospel so it was knowable to people.
Okay, so you
Really,
just want to be like
I
a
would go-
street evangelist.
I would, no, like I would go do concerts and just proclaim the gospel. And
Oh, like Billy Graham.
Smaller scale, but.
Okay, do you know this about
really.
Heather? Heather's a singer, and
Yeah.
she's an amazing
Oh yeah, she
singer.
sings on Sunday
Oh,
mornings.
okay.
When
What's
I play drums, I hope Heather's singing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, man,
Okay,
I
so
don't
here's a
know.
question for you. What's your lowest note that you can sing?
B flat, below C, below C.
That's
What?
low.
Yeah.
That's like
Did you just make that
like,
up?
no,
that's my notes,
Timmy, what do we got
That's my
here?
comfort
No,
zone.
okay. What you
Yeah.
guys can't see is that Tim's holding something on his lap. Okay, this is important.
If you
Because-
remember from episode 1,
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
if you send stuff our way, I'll wear it. We will gladly take any freebies or any
Yeah.
giveaways that you guys want to give us. If you want us to rep you or your business.
Yeah, and that now includes me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Whoever's in the car
She's
with
in.
us.
Yeah, I'm in.
So what do you got in there,
something.
Timmy? What do you got in there?
Les Perry came through and gave
Shout
me
out
this
to Les Perry.
sweet swag bag with tons of cool new t-shirts in it. I say, let's put them on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I got going?
Hey! So, Les, thanks for hooking us up with sweet Cinex
Seriously.
t-shirts.
Yes. I think it's Cinex, right?
Les,
Mine's Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Mine says Intel.
Mine has some creepy looking dude on it.
As a bear.
Who is this? Hey, kids,
Hey, let's
if you
qualify.
want these exact clothes, these shirts that we're wearing,
You can have them.
We can auction them off.
no, you can go to Goodwill next week,
there you go.
and they'll.
Miracle Hill, preferably. There you go.
That's true.
It's
Great
true.
point.
Local. Miracle
Okay,
Hill.
hey, so we're gonna go to the newly renovated Chick-fil-A
Yes. Can you move that up to that?
in Gurr.
Grr. Hey, that
Um,
sounds like a great topic to talk about today with Heather.
What's that? Money?
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
I like the
Let's
topic
do
of
it.
money.
I know people don't really would think this about me or know this about me, but I'm actually really passionate about finances, about being good stewards
Amen.
of not only the money that we have, but of our wealth, of our material possessions, all of those things. So I think this would be a really good carpool conversation to have
Yeah.
when it comes to the subject of money.
Yeah.
And Heather, that's why we wanted you to be on this episode, not only because you're awesome and you're great and we
Oh,
love you,
yeah.
but I think it'd be awesome for you to talk
Yeah.
about money and what particular like high school, middle school students
Yeah.
Right.
need to be doing with their money so it sets them up for success into their
Yeah.
college years.
Right, because most students don't think about it until it's almost too late, and then
Yeah.
they're already in trouble.
Yeah.
So let's bring it down to
And-
where they are.
And if middle or high school students do have money, they
Spend
spend
it.
it
Yes.
ASAP. I
Right.
can't tell you how many times I've been to camp or on some project with them or out of town, and their parents give them like $100 on Monday, and
Yeah.
Tuesday they
It's
either
gone.
or they lost it. Like they can't find it.
Yeah.
Right.
Drives me crazy. So I
Yeah.
would love for you to talk to Heather in 9th grade. What would you want Heather to know when it comes to the topic of money?
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about debt.
So, when I was a 9th grader, I worked hard. My dad had a kennel. I scraped the runs. I cleaned them. I
Wait, scrape the
fed-
runs? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
like the runs where the dogs went to the bathroom.
Oh.
Very hard work, not fun. But at the same time, I was taking care of people's dogs, so I felt good about that. And I got paid 50 cents a day to do that. So I would save my money.
You're rolling
Because
in
guess
the
what
big
I wanted to
bucks.
buy? I wanted to buy a cassette recorder to sing into.
Oh, snap.
No lie. So I saved
Hey,
and
they're-
saved and saved
they're
that money.
coming back, retro.
Yeah, it took a long time at 50 cents a day. But you know, so
Hold
I
on, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If 50 cents a day,
Yeah.
do you mind me asking what year was
yeah,
this?
that would have been like 1976, 77.
Wow.
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
But I mean, I do think they took advantage of me because I was a super willing child and I really just liked, this is going to sound so sad, but my parents both worked all the time and I felt like that was something I could take off of them.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
liked animals.
You had a
it's
good
like-
heart. See, I take advantage of my children too.
Yeah, and
Because
good heart, yeah.
in my backyard we have a lot of
Good heart.
weeds.
Yeah.
And the dandelions.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Pay them to take care
yep.
of those weeds?
I
Why
go,
not?
I
What
say,
do you pay them?
Yeah, a penny a flower. but they think like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I get
Eight
one
bucks for
coin
flowers, yeah.
for a flower.
But
yeah.
teach them about money because that's one more
That's
penny
right.
they didn't have an hour ago.
And the value of what a penny is. Like, that's
Right.
hard work.
So I'm already doing that with my grandkids. I'm giving them quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies to show them that it takes this many pennies. You know, and a great picture my mom used to give is when you're working and you're thinking about buying something and how much it's going to cost you, how long did you work to be able to buy that?
Right.
Yes.
And
So,
you're
like-
thinking in not money, but in time.
In time, right.
Yeah.
So if I'm making 50 cents an hour that was hard earned and I'm going to go buy something, it better be awesome.
Right.
Like I wasn't going to spend it on stupid.
Yes.
So, but I also want to say that different children are wired in different ways. So, give you 2 examples of my own children.
Okay.
Oldest son, when he was young, that was when Jordan sneakers were big.
Oh,
We're in
yeah.
this era,
Dude, they're
right?
still big.
Starter
Oh, yeah.
jackets, the
They
whole
are,
deal.
yeah, absolutely.
And he would love to have a pair of those sneakers, which were $100 in the 80s, 90s.
Wow.
And I would say, well, listen, your foot grows every 2 weeks. And so I can buy you a pair of shoes for $39 or $49 that will get you through to the next phase. So
Right.
I'm not spending
Yes.
$100. But if you want to work to earn the difference, to buy those sneakers, I'll find you things to do. So then he says to me, well, if I can find them for $29, do I get the $10?
Oh,
See?
So he became a thrifty shopper.
Yeah,
He
good for
looked
him.
better than every kid in the school because he learned to buy stuff on sale, take the receipts back within 2 weeks, get credited for the difference that it went down. Super
Good for
smart.
him.
Man, dude, like
Nice.
that's hustle.
Yeah,
It
so
is.
he's still, but just smart. Like, it wasn't a lot of work. It was just smart.
Right.
So my youngest son, on the other side of that, when money came into his hand,
It was gone.
he like on fireballs, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, silly stuff. But on the other side of that, one time he needed money for something. I said, well, Matt, you have $20 or $30 saved up. You can buy that. And he said, well, there was a kid at my school where they were trying to get money for him for Christmas, and nobody was giving any money, so I took my money in and I gave it to him. But he
Wow.
never even told me.
So it seemed that the money was leaving his hands fast, but for like incredible reasons.
Yeah, but sometimes for really good reasons.
Right.
So what I love is you need to know that your kids wired different ways. Like Danny's the guy you want to work for somebody to manage their money and make sure they're doing a good job. Matt, you want to work him for a philanthropist who's looking for really
Yes.
good ways
Wow.
to give your money away. So both my kids, you know, they live below their means. I've always taught them live below your means.
Oh, can I say something with that?
Yeah.
My dad growing up, and he still does this, he would say the rich act poor and the poor act rich.
That's right.
Oh.
So big hat, no cattle? Or, yeah, so
Yeah.
the millionaire next door.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Big hat, no cattle.
Yes.
He looks like he's really impressive, but he doesn't really have anything. And
Right.
then the other guy's just minding his business.
He has a lot of cattle,
yeah.
but no hat.
Right.
So, can I ask
add
you a
one-
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So all right, if you're a teenager and you're like, I'm not sure which one I am, like
Right.
how do you develop that
Right.
in yourself?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
you can't give away what you don't have. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, you know, Scripture tells us about being self-controlled.
Yep.
So, if I can say, listen, by having this money, let's say, and it's not my money, God gave me the ability to earn it, and I have this money. So, there are things I want and I like, and that's good. But maybe there's a bigger why. I would really like to help over here with this. So that means I can self-deny over here
Yep.
in
Good.
order to be able to give over there,
That's
because that
excellent.
has more meaning to me. But it also doesn't mean, like, if there's a shirt I love over here and I've wanted it a really long time and I know I'll get 50 wears out of it, that I can't buy that. I just have to be wise about where am I spending my money and
Right.
how balanced is that. And I'm a big, for me, if there's not a sale involved, it's no fun.
I'm with you.
Right? Like, there's
Yeah.
no story. I bought a shirt the other day, so what?
Yeah.
But when it was 30% off and I had a coupon and I did an extra thing, then it's kind of fun. Like, yeah.
Okay, shout out to my mother-in-law because we always joked that she goes to the grocery store and they pay her. Like she
Yeah.
has. Yes.
Speaking of buying things, we're at
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Timmy, what do you want?
I would love a vanilla iced coffee.
Yeah.
Your smallest size.
I've never had that, so I'll have the same thing.
Right, make that too. I'm good actually. That's
Hey,
it.
we're at the new
And what's
Greer Chick-fil-A.
Tim.
And newly renovated.
Alrighty, so that brings your total to $581. You'll pay up there.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to the Chick-fil-A app.
Yay.
Yes.
So let's talk about that we're at the Chick-fil-A place getting a drink.
Yeah.
So you're a teenager
Can't see it.
and you're going
Don't
to
do it, don't do
Starbucks with your friends all the time. And a
Right.
caramel macchiato is $5.41.
Whew.
It's crazy.
Right. That adds up really fast when you have an income that's paying you $10 an hour.
Right.
Right? So
That's half of an hour, like a half
10
hour.
bucks an
work.
hour,
so
and you're
let's
only
think
working
about
12
that.
hours
like
a week.
I can go home and make a coffee and put some, you know, I got a foamer that I can make my own foam with for a lot less money. So like thinking about expenditures that are frivolous and treating them like in the era that we live with kids right now, this is all they know,
Right.
right? Like this, I was excited when I was a kid when they brought the first McDonald's to my town. No, I'm serious.
I love
So that was an
McDonald's.
event. Now, this is just part of your daily life. Of course we go here, but I'm telling you what,
Right.
it adds up really fast.
Well,
Well,
here,
drive-throughs and getting you know,
Drive-throughs, getting
Oh, yeah.
fast food, all
especially
that
if
stuff.
you use these things right,
Right,
here,
and it's easy.
you don't even
So-
feel the pain of the
Yeah.
money leaving your
Right.
pocket.
Yeah.
You just
Right.
rack it up on
So
your
my,
card.
my kids, when they were young, they'd say, well, can't we just go to the ATM and get money? And what I'd always say is, so here's the thing, that ATM is a bucket of money
Okay.
that we put in there. For your dad goes to work, we put the money in the bucket, and that's where the money is. To be able to withdraw it, there has to be a lot in there.
Right.
And so we're not going to just go keep withdrawing from the bucket till it's empty. Like we have to measure what's worth drawing from the bucket for.
Okay.
right? So like
That's
we
so
got
good.
bills to pay.
Yep.
Yep.
Those are real. And so like
real.
when I see young people,
And regular.
yeah, like that's, you have to be able to say, I'm always going to be able to pay those bills. Like when I married my husband, my dad was not financially responsible. And so it put a lot of pressure on my mother. Like we needed new sneakers, we're outgrowing them. She had to wait a few paychecks to do that. So when I got married, I said, I really will have a simple dream of life.
Yeah.
I want to have money in the bank to pay the bills when I need to do the car registration when I have to get my kids sneakers when their feet are outgrowing them, and anything beyond that is bonus.
Yeah.
And so,
You're saying like the necessities,
yeah, and then
the needs versus the wants.
yes, and so we can tame our wants. And what I want to say is like those wants that seem so loud in a moment end up in a garage sale.
Very true.
Right. So
Which
like
I
in
love
the
garage
moment,
sales.
No, right. So you take the benefit of the guy who bought it full price.
Can I tell you what I do with garage sales?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love them.
This is a side hustle.
Okay.
I love going to garage sales, finding stuff,
Yeah.
reselling it on eBay,
Right.
and making more money.
Sure.
I do it all the time.
No, that's
like,
fun.
Like
Yeah.
one time
But
I
that's
was.
work.
Oh yeah, but like it's fun work for me. Like it's a Saturday. I'm with
it's a
the
treasure
boys.
hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found this one like old school action figure, and
Oh.
I got on my
Yeah.
phone real quick on the Amazon app.
What it was worth.
Yep, and it was like $49.99.
And
I
how
said
much was it there?
she didn't have a price. I was like, hey, will you take $1 for this? And she was like, you can have it.
Oh my word.
And I was like, okay. Took it,
Cha-ching.
put it on eBay,
Yeah.
got it for $54.
That's awesome.
And the postage was like $6.
Right.
$50 in
Yeah.
my pocket
Yeah.
because I just went to a couple garage sales, took something and resold it because we are now in the era, obviously, of apps on your phone, the internet. There's so many ways you
right.
can pick up side hustles.
That's right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And especially young people really know how to use that. But at the same time, for example, so my time now is really valuable. Like when my kids were younger, I was a stay-home mom. So I left my husband be like, I'd be hauling home this dresser I found along the road. I'm going to paint this and make it
Right,
awesome.
exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Now I have no steam to do any of that. Now I work full-time as a real estate agent. So my time is my money now.
So a Saturday garage sale sounds like
Yeah,
That's work.
Yeah, for 20 years I loved that. It was all the hunt, go find the thing, make it better. Now I don't have time to do that.
I'm with
so
you.
Now
I'm
it
with
just
you.
goes to Miracle Hill or something
yeah,
like
so
that.
now
Right.
I'm going to find other ways. Okay, now I have to shorten. I can't shop all those sales like I used to or do things. So Amazon has become my friend. Have my shoes or my things.
Love it.
But then because
Ain't
I'm
nobody got time for that.
Yeah, so I can now use my time to serve people.
What do you think about brick and mortar stores? Do you think those are going to start disappearing?
Well, not if
I
they
hope
actually
not.
have customer service. There's a concept. So like.
Shots fired.
Do these guys know what brick and mortar stores are?
Oh, brick and mortar would be
Brick
like
and mortar, like a real place that you go shop.
yeah, like,
like
you,
I'm a huge
See the brick
TJ
behind
Maxx
us?
fan.
you
yeah.
go to Old Navy.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
I love TJ Maxx.
TJ
It's
Maxx, my favorite,
store.
has good
my
deals,
favorite
good
store.
stuff. Resale.
Hey, TJ Maxx, if you're watching,
Love you.
we need
Yeah.
help.
Free,
Yeah,
free stuff.
free stuff.
to
We'll
me.
wear it. We'll
They
promote
know me
your
by
stuff.
name because the key in those kind of stores is you have to go in and do a perusal and leave, right? Because
A perusal.
A perusal, yeah, just give a
Wow,
quick perusal.
okay.
So you go, take a glance, see what's in there, and leave. And like, so I don't drive to the TJ Maxx, but if I'm on a real estate transaction down in Simpsonville, I'll stop by that store and see and come back. I know I need a black shirt. They might have what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's how I use my time if I'm going to a store. I don't just go shopping at the store. If I'm near it, I'll go. 10
It's
minute
whatever's
glance.
convenient.
Yeah, it has to be convenient in
Yeah.
what I do now. So,
Okay.
but I love brick and mortar stores, but they're going to have to, it's just like anything. You have to reinvent yourself. So if you're going to want people to come to the store, your prices have to be good and your people have to be awesome.
Yep.
Chick-fil-A
Very true.
has it going on.
Chick-fil-A, where
it's
we are
my
right now.
pleasure.
Listen, you don't even
The
have
Quick
to.
Trip is the Publix of gas stations.
It's true.
See you next time.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the Quick Trip.
Oh yeah.
When they
QT.
came here, I said, Quick Trip is taking over the world. Come on. Because you walk in, they greet you when you walk in.
Yeah.
It's always clean, and then they see you next time.
Yeah, they know what
See,
they're doing.
I'm
They
gonna,
do.
I'm gonna have to jump on that wagon then because I
Love
just,
them.
Where do you go to fill up?
Don't
Well,
tell me.
7-Eleven? Where do you go?
Well, we have a place right next to right by
Murphy's?
our house. It might be Murphy's. It might
Murphy's
be
is
Walmart.
fine.
Murphy's
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah, there
Because
you go.
I'm going to the gas station to actually get
Oh.
gas.
Yeah.
Hold on. Speaking of money,
Money.
did you know I'm a huge app guy
Uh-huh.
that helped me save money to accrue
You
points.
should teach me about that.
Okay,
I'm
there's an
nervous
app.
about them.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's an app called Get Upside. Get Upside, and you get on the Get Upside app, and it'll show you gas stations around you that'll give you free
best.
money per gallon.
Oh yeah.
So like today was
What?
at QT, it was 13 cents a gallon, which by the way, gas prices are like,
I know.
because there's this crazy trade war overseas
Yeah,
and the coronavirus,
What's that
and
about?
there's all sorts
don't
of stuff.
Start me.
There's all sorts of stuff that's making gas go down. But I got on the Get Upside app,
Yeah.
and it was 12 cents a gallon. All you have to do is take a picture of the receipt. Boom, free money in your account.
So high schoolers, here's multiple things I want you to think about. So here's the thing. You can live a life of such self-denial that then it's no fun, right? So true story, I had a client, brilliant, I love this guy. 31 years old, told me as soon as his wife had their baby, he was retiring. 31.
Why?
I said, 31 years old? How could you possibly do that? Teach me about you.
31.
31. And he said, I got out of college and I got a really good engineering job and I have just saved my money since that time.
Nice.
I don't spend money on stupid, he said.
Yeah.
Stupid,
good.
momentary things. And
I
in
love stupid,
turn,
though.
I studied, yeah. Well, so here, hang on, we're going to talk about that. So in turn then, he started to read and study about how to manage and grow your money. And so in doing so, his wife's going to go back to work because she has a lovely job she loves. And he's going to stay home and just, help his money grow and do a side job.
Be like a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
So a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
when the kids go to school, being a stay-at-home dad would be dope. Because you have the house to
But,
yourself.
so again, though, he might be living more of a life of self-denial about stuff than other people want to live. But he and his wife are on the same page. So this is
And
really,
they want to do that. That's
this is really
joyful for
important
them.
when you're picking someone to date. That's what I used
Oh.
to tell my son. Listen, if you're a guy who likes to really manage money and be frugal and wise, and I don't mean stingy, I mean just wise, you can't marry a girl who'll spend it faster than you can make it. Because
Yeah.
that will be a tremendous source of frustration.
Right.
So you have to talk about those things in the people that you date and how you think.
You're like, yo, girl, I see those stilettos you're in. I can't keep
Now,
hooking you up
people
with
do-
good shoes.
Don't
People
mess
do
with
change,
shoes.
but yeah, they really don't. People do change, obviously, over time. But I'm just saying, like, mindsets. You need to know, like, what is their mindset? I know young couples who would rather not own much of a house so that they can go camping and go do. They said, we don't want to have, we want to do. So you
That's
need to think
awesome.
about, how am I
That's fun.
spending my money?
Because I'll say our house has really given us financial freedom. Because if you've been to our house, it's very small, but my mortgage payment is
Less than
super
rent.
small. Yeah.
Less than rent. That's right.
And we know what we're making as far as income, so
Right.
to know that our mortgage isn't like, making it difficult for us to go on vacations
Right.
and do nice things.
Like you're strapped to a house. The first,
Yeah.
so true story. And when I say to young people, there's never been a better time in your life to buy a house, and they look at me like I have two heads. The first time my husband and I looked to buy a house when our son was expected, interest rate was 18.5%.
Oh wow.
We decided at that time we loved our apartment. So
Right.
a couple
Exactly.
years later, we did buy a house, and that payment that was 13.5%. We bought a $79,000 house at 13.5%.
Wait,
and
say
our
that
payment,
again. A 79.
$79,000 house.
Okay.
This is in the 80s
Okay.
at 13.5%, and my payment was $1,200 a month.
Whoa.
We couldn't afford to go to McDonald's. I couldn't afford to put furniture in the house. I mean, it was like so tight.
Man.
So really cool God story. My husband and I were saved after that, and we really wanted to be able to tithe and give money to the Lord, and it's His money, and we didn't have it, and so we were praying about that. Like, God, we're going to give what we can, but we want to be able to really give money. And
Right.
the interest rates dropped, and we were able to refinance to 9.5%, which took our payment down to
amazing.
like $900 a month, so we could tithe.
Yes.
So God
Love
is
it.
kind. So that was our heart. But I'm telling you, now interest rates are 3%. Now imagine people who have $60,000 a year jobs,
Right.
$50,000 a year jobs, being able to buy a house at 3.5%. I mean, that's just crazy stuff.
That is crazy.
But here's the problem: I have all these young couples coming out of school with debt out
Debt.
the wazoo.
I want to talk about that next.
You're talking about couples and being on the same page and
Yeah.
everything. So when Andy and I got married, we didn't really have a lot at all. The apartment that we had, we were given a bed by my grandmother, we used these barrels that we had for storage at school that Andy put like contact paper around, and we made side tables, and there were no can lighting in our apartment, and so we had Peter Hubbard's mother had given us a table
Mother
lamp.
Hubbard?
Mother Hubbard had given us a table lamp, and we literally brought that from room to room to room to room. We had nothing. We sat on the floor.
Yep.
We had nothing. And we loved it. Those are some of our best
those are
times.
sweet memories. Same with
Yes.
us. Like when Len and I married, I was 20, and he had a good job, but like, you know, we had tray tables from Dollar General as our end tables, lamps.
Oh, it's a North Hiller.
It is a North Hiller.
I love doing these and seeing people with the North Hill sticker
It's good
on their
stuff.
car. They're all over town.
North Hill sticker.
But again, being willing to make those memories and transition from when it was a big deal to finally get some real end tables.
Right.
Or real lamps. Or
Absolutely.
not a table. You know, we had a table from a yard sale. And we had a neighbor, true story, there was no bedroom light in our bedroom. And Len had a friend who felt bad for me dressing in the dark, and he brought over a lamp for me.
Like, we can
It's
tell
true.
none of your clothes match.
Yeah,
You're getting
it's true.
dressed in the dark.
You know what
Into a
else we
mirror.
did?
Yeah.
We actually found people that had extra furniture in
That's
their
right.
house that they were paying to store somewhere in a storage facility. We're like, we'll store it.
Yeah,
So we had mismatched everything, but it was
But
fine.
they didn't here's the temptation then. So they didn't have back then rooms to go where you can come and buy a whole living room worth of furniture, and you don't have to pay for it for 5 years. But what they're banking on is that you won't pay for it, and then they'll add all the interest for the whole 5
So
years
explain
onto the end
interest.
of
So
that.
if a high schooler is listening to this,
Yeah, interest.
what is interest?
Okay, so there's no such thing as free. So I'm going to give you...
What do you mean? I mean, they say it all the time. All these advertisements are, okay, this
Free
is free,
this.
and this is free, and this is free. Why is it not
I
free?
love free.
Absolutely, we all love free.
Yeah, we love free until it's not. So...
I hate
So
it.
there are things that you actually can, if you're paying attention, manipulate. I have friends that use these credit cards where they transfer all their debt to one that has 0% interest until this date. And they're banking on you missing that date. And that's where they make all their money. Right. So if you're really on top of your game and you've got it on your phone and you know you have the ability to pay that off on that date, then you're using money for a season, right?
Yeah.
So you're keeping your money and using it, and then you have to be able to pay it off. The key is you haven't used it on something stupid that then you don't have any money to pay it off.
Right. No, I remember my first mortgage payment.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, like $950.
Yeah.
When I saw how much was going towards
Oh,
the
my
actual
word. Yeah.
house,
You look at the amortization chart.
and
sure.
it was like $200. The other 700 and something was
Interest.
interest. It was just going to the bank because they gave me all this money.
Yeah.
It was like $110,000 to get the house.
So interest is just money that they're saying. So if I get a loan at the bank or I get a mortgage,
Yep.
okay, I'm buying this house and the house is $100,000, but I have a 6% loan. So that's, you know, I'm going to be paying interest on the part. So they're loaning me. Let's say I put $10,000 down on this $100,000 house. I owe $90,000, and the bank says I'm going to loan you $90,000. You're first they determine
But there's
I'm not a
something in
risk.
it
I'm
for
going to
me.
pay my payment. So they're going to trust
Right.
I'll stay with it.
Yep.
That's what they have to do on the pre-approval. They go through this long process and say, listen, based on the money they make, based on the money that they owe, they seem like responsible people. We're going to go ahead and give them a loan, right? But then there's, and hopefully that's true.
Yeah.
But they're going to charge interest to that money. They have to make money on the money they're loaning you. And
It's
you're-
their way of saying what's in it for me.
What's in it for me? Nobody's just handing you money.
No.
So they're making a lot of money. And I think I want to talk about like a little bit about debt. So many people say debt is all bad, and I'm going to say I don't agree with that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's good debt and bad debt.
Well, there's debt you can pay and debt you can't. Right? So if, let's say I'm being a steward of my money,
Yeah.
I had a girl come to me. She was going to rent a townhome for $1,500 a month.
Okay.
She didn't like the townhome. She calls me and says, maybe I should buy something. She bought a better townhome, and her mortgage is $900 a month.
So less than what she would have been paying.
Less than what she would have been paying in
if she
rent.
rented it.
So
Yes.
she's still paying a monthly payment, right? But that house is gaining value. She gets tax write-offs against that house. So there's debt, but it's smarter and better steward than the rent she would have been paying.
So what kind of debt,
Right.
what kind of debt would these high schoolers be getting into right now?
So that would be a great thing for them to talk to with their parents, because often kids come out of high school and have no credit established. So
What does that mean, credit?
So credit is, let's say you want to go buy something as a 20-year-old,
Okay.
and they say, well, you have no credit established.
Like a car?
Yeah, let's say you want to buy a car.
Okay.
And you're not having your parents help you buy it. You have 2 jobs, you're a responsible 20-year-old, you want to buy a car.
Yep.
You have no credit. A great thing to do is see at 18 if you can establish a credit line, or we had our kids on our credit line while they were in high school and college.
To help them
So
build
they
that
could
credit.
use our, when they got out, man, they're like, man, we have stellar credit scores because they inherited our credit scores.
Do you know what Dave Ramsey said?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey said another way of building good credit, I don't know if this is true, I need you to let me know,
Yeah.
is going to the library, checking out a book,
And taking it back.
and returning it
On time.
on time.
Yeah.
Can
again,
help you build credit.
They're seeing you have a
Wow,
pattern
I didn't know
of
that.
doing what you
You're
say
welcome.
you'll do, right?
Yeah.
They want to see that you do what you say you'll do. When they're doing a credit score check on you, what they're doing is they're, like for a loan, they're looking at your debt to income ratio and they're saying, listen, he has this much income, but he's not using it all on foolishness.
Yep.
And so therefore, if a hard day comes, he's probably going to pay his car payment.
Yep.
He's probably going to pay his loan.
Yep.
He's a responsible
He's not a risk.
investment.
He's not a
risk.
liability.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about buying a car. So you're going to buy a car. I want to have this conversation about cars. I want to have it about college that you choose. If I can afford a Toyota, if all I can afford is a Toyota, which is great, it's a car. It gets
It's a
me
good
from
car.
point A to point B. I drive a Toyota. I can't afford a Lexus SUV,
Ooh,
right?
right.
There are people who can, so great.
Yeah.
They'll give them money for that.
Yeah. Some people can't afford to drive the car I drive.
Well,
I drive
exactly.
I drive a 2006 Ford Focus.
Right. Hey, high five me. So
Love
Len
it,
and I,
love it.
we drive cars generally till the wheels fall off. In 39 years of marriage, we've had 2 new ones, and the reason we got new ones is because the other ones were so old
Right.
that we needed something that had a warranty.
So junky.
And I drove the first one for 13 years, the new one. But here's the thing. So you're going to get that loan on a car, and you're going to pay these payments for months and months,
Ugh.
and they'll give you 5-year things. And the minute you drive that car, if it's new off the lot, it's depreciated. So I want to say to you, listen, be wise.
Now, real quick,
Depreciated.
depreciated.
The value of a brand new thing, the minute you take it off,
So,
is now a used thing.
You buy a $25,000 car. The moment you drive it off, if
For
you try
20.
and resell it, you're
For
not
20.
going to get your money back for
Right.
what you put in.
Right. If you buy a brand new shirt, right, and you decide you don't love it, and you go to sell it, that $30 shirt is now like a $5 shirt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Unless it's a yard sale
Unless
and
it's
it's
a
an
yard
action
sale.
figure.
So thinking about that again, so if I can afford that, that's what I buy. I might have a payment, but I have the ability to make the payment, right?
Yep.
That's different than stretching myself to something that's causing me stress every day.
And money will do that.
And money causes stress.
So
people.
much, so much.
And we really want to see you have no stress. So I want to go on to colleges. You're in high school. You're starting to think about college. You're working hard to be a good student, or you're not. So if you're not working hard to be a good student, you are limiting your future options, I'm just going to say. But if you're working hard to be a good student and you're hoping to go, let's say, to college, I want to talk about options besides college, because I think we've made college the only option, and I
Right.
don't think it is the only option.
No
Right.
way.
But anyway, so
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah,
I think this is a bold prediction
I'll help you.
on Carpool Conversation. I think in the next 10, 15 years, trade school and
Absolutely.
college is going to swap.
High five.
Probably.
Yes.
More high five.
That,
And
no,
it
that
almost
is the
should.
need, and I can give you real statistics about that.
Yep.
But let's say I'm just talking about college right now. So my own child was going to go to college, and colleges were offering him a lot of money, but he was still having to come up with a lot of money.
Yep.
And so I would
They're
say,
expensive.
listen,
They're so expensive.
I don't want you coming out of college handcuffed to student loans. So here's the deal, and this is where parents, listen here, parents.
Parents.
Yeah, you are like, the bank won't give me a loan on a car I can't afford, right? It won't. And yet the government will give student loans to kids
That's
that
crazy.
they can't afford. So
Why do they do that?
we're giving kids $40,000
They're
a
making
year to get, or 50, I'm going to give you a real story,
Yep.
$50,000 a year to get an elementary education degree that isn't going to pay them
An MR
$45,000.
Those are called MRS degrees.
Hey,
Stop it! I don't agree with that.
Seriously?
Don't
No.
don't get me on that.
no, we need good elementary school teachers.
We do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
say that's your heart and your passion, and so you go to this school and you accrue all this debt that you can't pay back with the income you're going to have from the career you've chosen. Or here's the other thing. So I've had this conversation with real parents. My daughter got accepted to Furman. I'll say, oh,
Which is a good school.
Go.
right?
right, Furman's a great school,
Palladians.
$65,000 a year.
Paladins.
So I'm going to give you two things here. So $65,000 a year. Face this same stuff with my son choosing schools, and I'd say, okay, well, is she getting scholarship? No. Did you save up to be able to send her? No. But she really wants to go. She just loves that school. And I'll say, well, how are you going to pay for it? And they'll say, I don't know. She'll have to get loans. And what I say is, if I can afford a Toyota,
Yep.
I don't get a BMW.
That's right.
Right? If you can afford a Toyota, you don't send your daughter to the BMW school.
Yep.
Right? So I want to say, listen, kids, you could love the idea of being at that school, but you're not playing the tape forward to seeing that when you come out, you got all this debt that's
Okay.
now going to handcuff you.
So I want to just stop and give a lot of attention to that little phrase you just said, to play it forward. Like,
Play it forward.
take
Yeah.
a couple seconds
Yeah.
and help kids think futuristic.
Yeah. So my kids, when they were going through, and a lot of kids, we had a great school like a Greenville Tech nearby, and the kids.
Go.
No, Greenville Tech. I can't say enough.
they
great
have a
about
mascot?
Greenville Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greenville Tech does?
I don't.
No,
know.
I don't think so. But Greenville Tech also has tools. I want to come back to tools at some point.
Yeah.
here.
Tools like that go to their school?
Yeah, but so just thinking, and they were in the mindset of
Okay, I'm
a
sorry.
12th grader. It was kind of like, oh, that's a last resort. And I want to say, no, that's
It's a
awesome,
first resort.
It's an awesome
It's a good
resort.
resort.
So what you want to think about is, where can I get my education the most affordable so
Yep.
that I can have the life I envision
That's it.
5 years from now?
That's it.
And
Right?
a
So it might be you go to Tech for 2 years and you are a really great student there.
And you transfer.
And then you transfer, and maybe somebody will give you a little money.
So let me talk about transferring, because this didn't
Yeah.
make sense to me when I was in high school. This is what transferring means. The English class that you take at Tech for $200,
Right.
the same one freshman year that costs $2,500 at Clemson,
Right.
when you transfer your junior year, the English goes with you.
Yes.
And it gets you out of doing English at Clemson because you did the English at Greenville Tech for much, much cheaper.
And you get both. You get to keep your costs down
Yes.
and graduate from the school that you want to
And
be
get
a part
their
of.
degree.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So, and you find the school again that's affordable, that has you come out with the least debt, right?
You know, I got a full ride to college.
Well, special you.
It wasn't because of grades.
There's drums.
That's
I
right.
got some scholarship because I played volleyball.
Right. So skills.
Did you?
I did.
So-
Where did you play volleyball at?
Grove City.
City.
Well,
Pennsylvania.
skills can really help you as well
Yeah, so-
to get scholarship. It doesn't have to just be
It doesn't
academic.
have to be academics.
Right.
but
Thank God for
you
that.
have to start thinking as a freshman. one of the
Freshman in
things-
high school, right?
Freshman in high school. I want
Right.
to have you start saying it needs to be intrinsic. You need to quit waiting for other people outside you to motivate you. You need to start saying, I'm playing the tape forward, and if this is the vision I have for my life, I become a participant in the journey to create that vision. Now, and God needs to give you that vision. You need to ask God, like, God, you've seemingly given me these strengths, these talents, these abilities. I stink at math. Like, I can do add, subtract, multiply, divide really well in my head, but you start going to accounting, you start going to algebra,
Yeah.
I stink. So I knew whatever I'm going to do, it ain't going to be math,
Yep.
right?
Praise
So,
God.
so what I want to say is you have to take math, but you focus on what you're great at.
Yes.
So that, kind of like strength finders, so that you can start growing in those areas to develop those. And parents, one of our jobs is to help them see who they really are.
Yep.
For example, I really wanted to study communications and music. Go figure, at college. And my parents made me study business administration. I thought I was going to die every day of my life. I dropped out of college the middle of my junior year.
Did you?
I did.
Did you lose your volleyball scholarship?
Well, I just left volleyball, so which was hard because that was the only reason I actually stayed in college. But you find out what your why is. So if volleyball was my why, I was willing to do those other things because I really wanted to be a great volleyball player.
Yeah.
So again, you figure out what do I really envision that matches my skill set. So I want to be taking courses. I want to be finding opportunities that let me test that. Like, hey, I think I really like journalism. Now, I'm going to tell you, a journalism degree for 4 years with a lot of debt is not wisdom. So you need something else that makes you really employable with a journalism degree. My son got an art degree. He's a brilliant artist.
Really?
Brilliant. But he
Where does he live?
Oh, he lives here. But he also got a marketing degree because he said, I have to, first of all, know that I can always have a job. And I'll also need to be able to market my art. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, my youngest son is a nurse. And he's so awesome.
A nurse.
I know, a nurse.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Early on in his life, he's the one that would give his money to somebody.
Oh.
He's the one that had a compassionate heart saying, like, he sees the need. And so, like, that was a really good fit for him.
We need more men like him.
Absolutely.
We do. I love my boys. They're probably going to be mad if they see this
You
video.
know, that's
Sorry,
really
boys,
great.
but I love you people.
I love you too. I've never even met you.
We're talking to my son about where he's going to go. He's a sophomore in high school. A lot of you guys know him, Ashton. Shout out to Ashton.
Yay.
Woo-woo. And he's interested in some blue collar jobs, which some
Awesome.
trade jobs, which we think is
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah. Explain blue collar.
Yeah. So they're not people that go and sit at a desk and work, but they're the tradesmen, if you will, tradesmen and women.
A plumber, electrician.
Tradesmen and women, I should say.
Shout out to the females.
Or they might work at BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've encouraged him to absolutely, if that's what you want to do, go into that. We need more.
Absolutely,
we need more
do.
plumbers, and we need more electricians, and whatever.
Good ones.
Yes, excellent. That are reliable.
Yeah.
Or general contractors, whatever it may be. But to maybe get a degree in business or in finance or marketing or something like that.
So good plan, because I, as a realtor, work with contractors all the time, and I used to manage a contractor list. And here's the dilemma. So many of them are really great at their contracting, but they don't know how to run their business.
Exactly.
Right, and so they're like,
So they're not making the money that they could be
so
making
I'm trying
with
to
their
coach
skill.
them. Listen, here's your next step. Here's your next step. Here's your next step. You need to get this guy. You need an admin person. You can't be all the things in your business.
Which is funny. So it seems like to make money, you got to spend money.
You do.
Because that's going to cost a lot of money to get an admin.
But when you
I
study
know.
a little
I have
business
one.
with it,
Hope is expensive.
But hope is awesome.
it helps you discern when you need that. That's what the business part is.
Yes.
Is, for example, real estate companies that develop teams, they have to know when we have enough money coming in from the team to warrant that we can have this person.
Right.
And be willing to take the risk and give that money away to grow to the next level, right? But that's there's training for us to learn those things. But I want to say, like, when you're young, like, maybe you really love using your hands. Like, maybe you really love being with people.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to do, like, I look at what I'm doing now as a realtor and I love it. It's just a natural fit for what I do. At the same time, I could have gotten out of high school and shadowed a realtor for 2 years and not gotten paid and taken some business courses, right? Just go take some courses.
Right. To see if you like it.
Yeah, to see if I like it. And then not had all that debt or had debt because I went and learned a skill.
That's right.
So you can go learn a skill. And let me just tell you, plumbers, my plumber charges $110 an hour. Not too shabby.
Man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
They really do.
but
They
I'm
make a
But
ton.
I'm paying for
Electrician.
his skill. I'm paying for his knowledge. I'm paying for the fact that my house won't flood.
No, that's so. Listen, my garage door just broke.
Yeah.
The spring at the top broke, and the door came flying down, shattered the whole stinking door.
Yeah.
To get my whole
Thing
spring
fixed.
garage door fixed was like $1,400. Do you know how long that guy was at my house? Like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That guy made so much money. But how long did it take him
So
to be able to learn how to do it in 45
Right.
minutes?
So that's the exchange.
To do it well.
Yeah.
Right.
So
To do it quickly.
Yep.
I had a contractor one time, a lady called me and she said, your contractor came and bid how to fix a drywall hole in my wall. It's a little hole. It's like this big. And he's going to charge me $125. And I said, well, here's the deal. You can go to Home Depot and you can buy a kit for $14 and watch a YouTube video and do it yourself. It'll save you a lot of money. Or let me tell you what this guy's going to do. He's going to come with his stuff. He's going to patch your hole. and then he's going to sand it,
Yep.
and then he has to leave. Then he has to come back and put another layer of mud, and he's going to sand it, and when it dries, and then he's going to prime it. And after he lets the primer dry, then he's going to paint it. Would you do all that for $125?
Yep.
Right. So, like, you can whine about what people charge, or you can learn how to do it yourself.
So listen, I think what we're trying to say is,
Yeah.
once the baby boomers move on, and those are the people that you say, okay, boomer, that's where all that came
Yeah, I'm a
from.
boomer.
Yeah. When the
So-
boomers go to be with Jesus,
But
and
don't
the
say
next,
that to Heather.
yeah,
No,
you're
it's okay.
you're a
I'm-
young
I'm
boomer.
looking forward to being with Jesus.
You-
But anyway,
you're
yeah.
a young boomer, but most
I
of the
am.
older boomers,
They're older than
they're
me.
going to go be with the Lord, and guess what?
There's
Electricians.
That's right.
What is
Finding
it?
a mason that knows how to lay brick right now, almost impossible. A really skilled mason, hard to find them because
And
they
you can
died
make
off and
so
haven't
much
taught
money,
somebody younger.
and you don't need a degree.
You don't. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can go learn skills and apprentice under somebody, and then you can read and watch videos and all of that. There's so much knowledge out there now. You can watch
Shout
YouTube
out to
videos.
YouTube.
I know, on
YouTube.
leadership, on how to do things to
Love
build your
YouTube.
business, so you get skills. And this is a true thing. Like on contractors, I always say, if you it's a really simple equation. You show up when you say you'll do it. You do what you say you'll do.
And
for
do
the
it
price
well.
you say you'll do it. I can keep you busy all day long.
And do it well.
Yeah, do it well. Do things with integrity. And you know what? If I'm talking to Christian kids at our church, it's not optional. God's called you to do it with integrity.
Yeah.
You now reflect His name. So I want to say, like, what could make you light up to say, I'm going to go out and do my work to the glory of God. I'm going to live my life. Like, how can I choose a college that's more affordable for me than the one that's more expensive just because I want it?
Yeah.
Because I want to do that to the glory of God.
Yeah, and obviously
I
everything
want
we
to be
do,
a steward.
yeah, is all to the glory of God. We
Yeah.
want to be good stewards, and really, the ultimate goal is not just to be rich,
No.
or to have a lot of stuff, or
It
to
can
make our
all just
or to make
To
our lives
worship
easier.
God.
Because that's here.
Yeah.
That's
vapor light.
yep. It's here today, gone tomorrow. I just looked at my Roth IRA, and
Yeah.
because the stock markets went, so did my Roth.
Crashing, yes.
But the reason why we do it is ultimately so we can be in a position to be generous. You
Amen.
can't be generous if you don't have anything.
Correct.
Now you can be
Well,
generous
you
with
can
your
be.
words
Yes,
or
yes.
Yes.
hugs.
Your time.
Yeah, and God in His economy, like I love, if you all haven't read The Treasure Principle, Randy Alcorn, all you young people, read The Treasure Principle.
Oh, nice.
If you haven't read The Treasure
I'll throw that
Principle,
image up right now.
Yeah, Treasure Principle.
Yes.
So it is a great book about how God allows some people to have wealth and some people not to, and how He gets glory in both. So the guy that doesn't have as
So
much,
it's almost like predestination with money.
You want to open that can of worms?
yeah.
So-
Do you really
okay.
want to go there?
Sorry.
So envisioning that the person who has need is crying out to God and depending on Him for provision, and then God, through a person He's given means and a heart to be generous, provides that. He gets glory on both ends.
That's beautiful.
Has
And-
God softened your wallet or hardened your wallet?
Oh man.
See?
I gotta tell you,
See
the
what I
older
did
I
there?
get, so this is a true thing. So I, as a young kid, when I told you how hard I used to work and save my money,
Yeah, back in the 20s.
in the 20s, that's right.
Wow.
There's a story that I don't really want to share, but my money would kind of disappear and then I'd have to start all over. And so, like at the time, I could get really bitter about that. But there's no point in getting bitter about it. You just start over and you work again, right?
Yeah.
But so as a kid, I kind of had a hoarder mentality. Like if you gave me something, I was afraid it was going to go away, so I
So you
hoarded
kept it.
right?
Interesting.
Like I was kind and generous to other kids, but like if it was my stuff, I wasn't going to share it. And so one of the prayers I've had my whole adult life is, God, like it's your stuff. Help me to be generous.
Yes.
Like
Wow.
if I see a need, will you help me to hold loosely?
Yes.
And that's
remember
so
it's
hard.
No, I
That
had to ask him
sounds
to do
so
it.
easy, but it's
Yeah,
so
no.
hard.
And I can honestly say, like, there's only one thing that would be hard for me to give away. I'm just not attached to stuff. But the books that
That's
I've read,
beautiful.
the books that I've read that have taught me something, and I've bracketed and starred and marked them all up,
Yeah.
I don't give those away. I'll buy you a copy of the same book,
Yeah.
Right,
but I won't
right.
give you my book.
I get
But
it.
like to get to where I can see that it's all just stuff. So
It's gonna burn one day.
yeah, can I?
And you can't take it with you.
I promised my
Let's
mother
go.
that God would get glory in her story, so I'm going to share a brief thing about my mother. My mother, when she was young, worked harder than anybody I ever knew, and therefore I didn't see her a lot, so that created a lot of strain in our relationship into adulthood. But there's a lot of reasons I learned later why she had to do all that. Anyway, she would work really hard, and when she was married to my dad, it kind of fade away. So she worked and worked and worked and worked, and then it got to be a little like the book of Ecclesiastes, I say. Like, she finally was doing really well, and she was going to experience everything. She even said to me one time, the first 25 years I was denied everything, the second 25 years I was going to have everything.
Wow.
She really did.
Making up for lost time.
Right, and I mean, she wanted pretty cars, she wanted pretty clothes, she had the means to do that, she wanted to take a cruise, she wanted to do all those things.
Right.
Meanwhile, while all of that's going on, there was also just guilt and shame hunting her down that I could see was such a struggle, because while she was living that big life, the relationships around her were damaged.
Suffering.
Right. And so she was trying really hard to enjoy all that while the noise of this was over here. At the end of her life, here's what my mother would tell you, and it was a painful journey. God took away everything to give me everything.
That's beautiful.
Say
that one more time.
I just
so
got
that
God
makes sure
took
that they-
away
Goosebumps.
everything to give me everything. And he did. Like, my mother financially was sitting pretty. She could do anything she wanted. And she made one bad real estate investment, and it undid it all. Just one.
Wow.
Undid it all. And there was this journey where God was saying, I am enough. Like, that is not your identity. Your stuff is not your identity, Ann. And at the end of her life, I'm telling you, she was the freest, most joyful person ever. And she said, I just tell my story. I want God to get glory in my story.
Amen.
And her passion was to help young people see how fleeting. Live your life for a purpose and a meaning, not just for what it could provide you.
Oh yeah, life's too short.
That's
Good
beautiful.
grief. So I
Yeah.
want to say three things as we wrap this up. Number one, if you're listening to this
Yeah.
and you're middle school, high school, college, heck, and beyond, it doesn't
Right,
matter.
college.
If you have a beating heart, no, really, and if you've heard us, we've mentioned stuff about credit cards or what to do about college or how to handle
Debt.
money, debt, how to be generous, all this stuff.
How to even manage being a middle schooler with peer pressure when everybody's wearing this and you can't.
Ugh. Hey, let me give a shout out to all the kids who don't wear the name brand stuff.
Yeah, which was me,
and-
people. And look, I
Me
made
too.
it to
Yeah.
59 years old,
Me
and I'm
too.
okay.
Bro, first off, any dork can go out and get that, so that
Yeah.
doesn't make them cool at
It
all.
does
Right.
not.
You rock you, go to Goodwill, wear those shirts, and
right.
be you,
Absolutely.
and own it, and have fun with it.
Yep.
And if they don't like you for what you wear and what's on your feet, those are crappy friends,
Yeah.
and you
all,
don't
all
want
you need
them.
is, you
need
really
them.
only need 2 friends. Like, you do not need to be loved by your whole class. You need 2 friends who get you, who love you, and
That's it.
See you, who
Keep
know
that
you.
circle
see you
small.
And know you.
Yep.
Keep that circle small, and then your little small circle goes out and affects those other ones. But you come back to your people, and
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty is you don't have to be known and loved by everybody,
No.
but to have a couple people,
Well, and because those people you're trying to impress after high school,
yeah.
you're not going to be friends with them anyway.
You're
So,
really not. Like, I
who
don't.
cares?
I can remember a handful of names from my middle school and high school. Again, I want you to think about next time we'll talk about dating choices. I want you. I
Love
want
to have
you
Heather back.
I want you to hear this. Play the tape
She
forward.
should just always come with
Yes.
us.
Play the tape forward. I want
Play
you to
it
think
forward.
about what do I envision my life looking like at 20, 23, 25, and then what steps do I want to take
Yep.
that create that life down there?
Intentionality.
That's my big word right there.
Yeah.
Intentionality.
What do you do when you're the middle school, high schooler, college, beyond, whatever? Like when you don't want to think about the future. Like, how do you have that mindset? How do you train
So,
your mind to
yes.
think that way?
Well, the good news is life will eventually train you.
It will, but
No, like if you can either go through life and let it happen to you, or you can be a participant. So Ross helped me one time understand. So
Ross Robinson.
Ross Robinson.
shout out to Ross Robinson.
Strength
My
finders. Connectedness is my #1 strength, which means,
It's my number 2.
oh man,
Yeah.
yay! I really do believe God's orchestrating all things. I'm walking into my day knowing He's working it. I always say I'm like the match game. Like, oh, I know this over here. Like, I'm watching all the
All
time.
the dots connect.
But I can also, in that, not be intentional, because I can go. It's all gonna work out. I know God's got it,
Yep.
right? But I have to be intentional so that I can be in position to pay attention to what he's doing so that I can be accessible to go to places that he's calling me to go instead of just letting life happen to me. So, like, as a middle schooler, you know, there's so many tools out there now to help you grow forward. And I'm going to say, like, it seems I say middle school is the years you just got to get through.
Yeah.
It is. Middle school's the meanest years, and if you think that's the picture of the future, and all the people who say to you, young people, these are the best years of your life, I'm going to say, lie. I want to tell you they just get better and better.
It's like fine wine.
Better. It's just like, I wouldn't trade my 20s for my 30s. My 30s to my 40s were awesome. Like, it just gets better because you're learning more of who you are and who God is. You're learning to like yourself more. Like, you're just learning to get comfortable with, this is the planet Earth I live on, and this is where I'm going, and it's all good.
That is worth its weight in gold.
Right there.
Everything you just shared is huge, and it's so important. So if you're listening to this,
Middle schoolers,
and you're like,
high
hey,
schoolers.
I want to get a cup of coffee with
Heather.
She's
or come ride in the
seriously.
van.
And if you want to take me out to lunch and just
Or me.
buy it for me and talk about the Braves, I'm here. I'm here for you to do that.
I'm also here for you,
Oh,
too.
come on.
Or the Red
I
Sox.
just
Now
don't-
listen,
I don't
this
get
is
it.
my last question I have for you.
Do I like the Braves? No, I don't.
That's the hurt talking. My stupid money that I like.
That's what you would spend.
I love Braves memorabilia, and it like upsets my wife. She's like, "How much did you just spend on that scorecard from 1961, from when they were the Boston Braves?" And I'm like, "Honey, I love it. This is my
Sorry,
one."
did you say Boston?
Yeah, they used to be in Boston, and then they accepted
Shout out.
Jesus as their Lord and Savior and moved to Atlanta.
Yeah, but you just said you're stupid money, so you have a pool for stupid
So
money.
is it okay to have stupid money?
Why not? Well, again, I think God wants us to delight in living, right? Like,
Because he gives good gifts.
it's not all
Like the
about
Braves.
self-denial. It's about delighting. So,
Yeah.
so again, what's your why? So you might deny something else so that you can have stupid money for that, right? So it's finding what's the thing that you say that brings me delight and joy, but it's not to the detriment
right.
of other things that are responsibilities.
Okay.
Right?
So again, self-control, what you kind of opened up with. There's self-control.
And a limit to what that is. You know, like,
Right.
I mean, you might want that card, but you're going to wait until it's the price that's in your range, you know, your range or your budget, you know, for that.
Yeah, I know.
Or you should.
Yeah.
All right, shout
I'm
out to
sorry.
Rachel to help
There
him.
was a guy walking down the street,
with his, we don't
all
wanna
his
talk about
groceries
it.
with no shirt on. He's just
know.
doing his thing.
Maybe he
I'm
will
kinda-
run into the dog.
I'm kind of jealous
and
of
take
him.
it to the
No shirt, no
I'm
shoes,
jealous
no
of that guy.
problems.
So, what is your stupid money?
I don't have a lot of stupid money.
Come on, what do you splurge on? That deep down you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna get this or buy
That's a
this.
good question.
I don't really.
Nothing.
No.
I have one.
Yeah.
You have
I
one?
need to think
Yeah.
about that.
Okay, think about that. What is yours?
One is seasonal and one is all year round.
Oh, I know. Christmas.
What? Yes.
Christmas
She
trees.
does love Christmas.
I do.
Yeah.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Yeah, the
Grinch. Yeah.
I
That's
collect
true.
Grinch
That's
memorabilia. I love the Grinch. Absolutely. But the other thing is shoes.
Shoes.
I have a shrine to my
I'm
shoes.
at the place where all that matters to me. So this is a good picture for you. So shoes. Like now, the important thing for me is they don't hurt my feet. Pretty's not enough anymore. So if I have to spend more on a shoe to have a good shoe as
Right.
opposed to a cute shoe, I'm going to do that. That's another comment.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we got to go. But I have to put this one out there because
Yeah,
my
put it out
mother
there.
taught me this too.
You know what? We're in control.
I
We
know.
don't have. We end it
So-
when we want to end it.
That's right.
I'm giving my mom glory for all the things she taught me. Let's say you go to the store and there's a pair of shoes you love, and they are $50. And then there's a pair you could live with, and they're $30. Which one are you gonna buy? She would tell you buy the $50 pair
I agree.
because all
you
you do
love
is
it.
you break down that pair of shoes. I'm gonna own these and wear them for 3 years.
Right.
That's this much per month to wear those shoes.
Yeah.
If I buy the $30 pair and I own them for 2 years, that's this
Yeah.
much per month.
Right.
Which is the better deal.
Boom. It's
And
the
it's
fitty.
always going to be the one you love enough to wear
Yep.
all the time.
I wear the same shoes all the time. My
Must
my
be nice to be you.
my Nike dad shoes everywhere. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And these are the shoes I'm putting on.
Yeah, so the
Go for a
steward-
run, put
But
these on.
the cheapest thing isn't always stewarding, right? I mean, I like a deal, But there are certain things that you just should get the better thing on.
It's called using your brain.
Yeah, I know, common sense. I always say
Common sense is like
I will
deodorant.
never develop a rocket, but I
Yeah.
have as much common sense as I think you probably can give me.
Yeah, and common sense is like
Got me a
deodorant.
long way through life.
Yeah, the people that need it the most rarely use it. So if you're watching this, you need to use common sense.
Use your deodorant.
Put your deodorant on, and that's a big
Every
thing
day.
for you
Yeah,
students.
especially if you're a middle schooler.
Yeah, take a lap around the church. Heather, you're wonderful. We want to have you back.
Oh,
I just
you're
wish, can
fantastic.
she be like a third host that always comes? Because I just,
Ride with you and not even say anything.
There
Well,
you go.
I would try. I don't know. I'm not
yeah,
sure
right.
how to go.
No, you're like me.
Heather
That's
Steeman,
not
you're
possible.
wonderful. Thank you for being with us. Hey, if you're watching this and you want us to talk about other topics or other issues that's going on in your world, send those our way. We'll get the rock star person to get in this van to talk about it. If you're also watching at Chick-fil-A and you want to sponsor us, if you just want to sponsor us with clothes,
No. Can we
with
put a
drinks.
thing about the clothes? Like,
yeah.
really.
Oh no, I
Send
love
us-
this.
Send them something we could wear. Like,
Les, I'm wearing this everywhere. I'm
yeah,
gonna sleep in this
as soon as I'm
tonight.
out of the van, I'm not wearing this.
She doesn't
No,
mean that. That's also the hurt
he
talking.
he loves the creepy guy's face on the teddy bear.
Look
No,
at this
that
thing.
is creepy.
Les, who is this?
That's so
This is
creepy.
weird.
That's fantastic.
So if you're watching this, comment below people you want to see, topics you want to talk about, and I just want to give one shout out before we sing a song because I do want to
We
sing
have
a
to
song.
sing a
Some
song.
music.
I wanna-
I really was a little sad there's no music.
Oh, we're gonna do some clips.
yeah, we gotta
I want to
do
give a
some.
shout out to Brian Gilbert. Last
I
night,
love
you know what he
Brian
did?
Gilbert.
What did he do?
He got engaged to Mary McKenzie.
Shut up! Shut up! Yes, Brian Gilbert! Oh
They
my
did.
word!
If you don't know
Brian!
who Brian Gilbert is, he's our worship pastor here at our church.
Oh, well done, Brian!
He's the man. Mary McKenzie is like also old school North Hills.
Love you both.
Congratulations!
They're wonderful.
Oh my God,
We want to
yes!
talk about something that costs a lot of money.
An
It
engagement
doesn't
ring.
have to.
Oh, it doesn't have to, right?
Just go get eloped with Elvis in Vegas.
No, but you can get. I mean,
Hey, my son designed his wife's own band, went to a jeweler, had to make it, and then was able to order the diamonds online.
Your kids
to
are
do
winners.
it for like about a third of what you'd pay in a jewelry
I
store.
went to Walmart.
I love that.
the other thing that we did. So Andy
And my other
designed
son, we shopped and shopped and
He
shopped
got a
for his
3D
wife,
printer?
and we waited till we could find just the right ring for just the right price. Like,
And then he
I-
gave it away.
Well,
They just gave it
we
away.
my husband actually designed my first ring, and I say first ring because then he bought me a couple different ones as we could afford it.
That's right.
And he wanted to
Right
do
here.
that more so than I did, but that was important to him, and he's like, now I can afford something that I really want to get for you, and that's when we bought it.
Yeah.
So we didn't buy the things that we didn't
First
have the
thing-
money for.
See, there it is. You don't buy the things you don't have the money for.